Hello, we're going to look at some of your writing from Lesson 9. So this is the writing paragraph where you had to relate to what you would like as your home of the future. So first I want to begin by going over a few points. It's very important to look at the feedback that I give you. I write quite detailed information, so go back over the feedback. Make a list of the points that you made mistakes on, and keep that list next to you when you write so you do not make the same mistake. You don't want to make the same mistake again and again and again. And below are a list of some points that I seem to be repeating again and again. Number 1, paragraphs do not have titles. Do not give your paragraph a title. Texts, articles, books have titles. Paragraphs do not. Next, all sentences in a paragraph follow one another. Don't hit enter and write a new sentence on a new line. When your eye sees a new sentence, it means that there is a new idea. And here we're talking about the same topic, the same idea. And sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a full stop. This is a very basic thing in English, and at this point in your interaction and work with English, you should not be making that mistake. Yes, it takes a bit more effort and a little more attention to what you're writing, but capital letters have meaning in English, and you need to use them correctly. Next, review the difference between a full stop or period and a comma. A full stop says this is the end of a sentence, an end of an idea. And a comma separates ideas within a sentence. If you do not understand this or do not know what to do with this, go into the internet and look. For those of you that have been making mistakes, I usually send a link to help you. And finally, you are writing in an academic context, and smileys do not belong at the end of your message, in the middle of the message. Keep them out. They are for informal text messages. So I really hope that next week I'm not going to have to mention any of these. So now let's take a look at some of the work that was done over the week. Here I want to relate to this, and if we look here, I've marked the errors in green for grammar, blue for vocabulary, and red. Now, what have I got here? I've got a title. We don't need that. Get rid of it. And then boom, 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 a list of sentences. It's very easy. I put it together and I make it look like a paragraph. So all of the sentences follow one another. And then if I look here and I say, wait a second, there aren't really that many mistakes. There's the in my house will be, there will be. If you have washing, then you need folding. There's misuse of the word spare. It should be waste. And the word powers, I really don't understand. Now I want to look at the feedback that I gave for this. Content, I gave 2 to 3. Good ideas, but not enough. We need another sentence in there that's going to show that my house is very technical. Also here, I need something that's going to relate to saving money. And here in structure, I have 1 point out of 4. And again, no need. We also link the ideas in addition. And of course, I mentioned this. And there's some basic errors that there will be. The waste money, that's a basic thing, and here. Okay, let's go to the next one. And the next one I look here, and it is one long sentence. Do you see all this green line underneath? That's got to show you that something isn't right. You have to divide your ideas into sentences. In the future, comma, my home will operate with voice and my smartphone. End of an idea. New sentence, capital letter. For example, this. the word I is always capitalized. When I will clap my hands, the light will be turned on, and when I clap, the light will be turned off. End of the sentence. Capital letter. Capital letter. Where was it? All the electronics will be operated with my smartphone. End of a sentence. Here we start talking about hunger. And so on, and so on, and so on. Those are the kinds of things that I expect at this level that you should be able to deal with. So my main comment here is lots of good ideas, but they're all in one sentence. And no use of punctuation or capital letters in order to divide the ideas in the way they are accessible to the reader, so the reader can understand the message. Sample 3. Sample 3 was quite good, but again, we need to put all of the sentences together. Not little chunks of things. Everything needs to be together. And I read this, and it's talking about, it seems a given that most of our electronics and appliances will only get better and more efficient in the future. That means that all of this supporting information must support this idea. And the concluding sentence needs to somehow or another repeat or emphasize that idea. But here, it takes it in a different direction. So, of course, the technology is improving all the time, and a lot of cool things are invented. But these days, most of the gadgets are still expensive, and as a young couple, we have to focus not only on the things we want, but on the things we need. Yeah, but that's not the point. This brings it into a new paragraph, a new idea. So that makes it a good paragraph. Also, why is this in capital letters? You're not texting, you're not emphasizing. Use capital letters for what they're supposed to be used. So if we look here, good ideas, it's mostly clear and organized. The grammar, mostly minor errors. So for this, it's a 9. Let's take a look at sample 4. Sample 4 was a 10. And here we can see very, very clearly the organization. Topic sentence, today the technology is in every home all over the world. And begins to explain why. We've got our supporting sentences. Inclusion in the future, life will be more comfortable and easy. So yes, there are some grammatical mistakes, but I'm going to get rid of all of this color for a minute. And I want you to pay attention to a couple of different things. There's a tool called Grammar and Spell Check, and if you go into your options, you can set it so that it begins to find mistakes. And when you turn it on, it'll show a green line for grammar, a red line for spelling, and blue for vocabulary. If you right click, you see here we've got and it fixed it. There was a space between the end of the word and the full stop. Here we've got a red line. I right click, and what do I need? Smart, smart, spat, smart. It corrects it. Blue line, everything. Cheap, fixed it here. Behavior, again here. Small letter. That we will, can, do. So it goes to grammar. And it says, consider revising. And I can look up the rule. And I say, oh, I remember that. We don't have will and can. That we, so I'll get rid of this. We can do everything. The behavior of all tenant. Well, all is plural. Tenant is singular. So here it shows me I'm able to correct my mistakes. And every day at 4, yes, we need the word and not the number in conclusion. And what have we done is more comfortable. It doesn't get everything, but it gets a lot. And what we have is a very good paragraph. Now let's listen to it. Today, technology is in every home all over the world. In my opinion, the home of the future will be like the smart homes of today, but it will be more common and cheap. The significant difference between today's homes and future homes is that we can do everything while we are sitting and watching TV, and we will move a wardrobe and heavy things without effort. In addition, every home will teach the behavior of all the tenants and will adapt accordingly. It isn't here teach, but won't teach the behavior, but it will learn the behavior. And we have to remember there's a difference between teach. Teach is what I do, and hopefully you learn. And will adapt according to the tenant's lifestyle. For example, a tenant who returns from work every day at 4 in the winter, home heating starts to work 15 minutes early, and the water for the shower will be hot, and the food will be hot and waiting for him. In conclusion, in the future, the life will be more comfortable and easy. So here we have a very nice paragraph. So let's sum up with just going back and remembering what we want to pay attention to. No titles in our paragraph. All the sentences follow one another. Begin your sentences with a capital letter and end them with a full stop. And if you're not sure the difference between a full stop period and a comma, then go in and do it. What's most important, though, is learn from your mistakes and make sure you don't make them again.